Morning, guys. We are up in northern Indiana picking up some parts for the 55, so we'll show you guys what we pick up. So I figured I'd just film a little bit while we're here. He's got some pretty cool stuff. Let me see. Cool old Dodge pickup. These are neat. Nope, this is a 28-29 coupe. You can tell the 28-29's by the cowl with the straight line that comes down and then the flat belt line here. Still cool though. All right, we made it back. Got everything stuffed in the car. We got our grill, and you can kind of see the bumper there. So we'll go ahead and pull this stuff out real quick and then give you a little better view of it. And I think he's going to polish it up today or tomorrow or something so we can get it installed this week. Got a pretty cool bolt-on hitch on it. So if we ever do any drag and drive events, we already got ourselves a hitch. All right, today we're gonna start out on the trunk. The emblem holes were filled in, so I can still see them from the back side. So we're gonna get this trunk opened up and look and see if I can get in there and drill out the holes for the rear emblem so we can get the outer chrome put on. So see if we can find these holes and get these things drilled out. Well, upon further inspection, it looks like this was probably a Bel Air trunk. So the holes I'm seeing are in a V shape. So unfortunately, it's not for that one. So we're gonna have to do some measuring and centering and drill our own holes. Is what it is, not a big deal. Okay, like I stated in the previous clip, this was I don't know, some of you guys might be able to correct me on this, but I think it was just the Bel Air that got the V. And I'm pretty sure this is what that is because the holes that are plugged are a V. So I'm assuming this trunk lid was probably off of Bel Air. I know some people say V8. I know the V8s had the little emblems down here. I'm pretty sure the V was just for Bel Air and not necessarily for V8s, but I could be wrong. So that's not 100% correct information, just going off a little bit that I know. I've been looking at some pictures, reading some stuff about where this is exactly located. And I got some masking tape up here so I can actually do some markings with pencil or Sharpie or whatever I decide to use and take some measurements and get it all dialed in so that way it's nice and centered when I go to drill my holes and mount it. All right, guys, got it all finished up. And that's pretty much how we're leaving it right there. We're not gonna run the insert or anything like that. It just looks cooler. And it kind of reminds you of the American Graffiti car. Not that that's really what, we're going for, but it just looks way cleaner. So I'm pretty stoked. The point here lined up dead center with the trunk lock, so pretty happy with that. All right, Dad's got a start on this original grill, and it's turned out really nice. Got the whole outer section done. A little bit of the original chrome peeled off up there. But for what we're going for, it's perfect. He's just got the center section left to finish up. And then he'll move on over to the bumper. So everything should clean up pretty nice. All right, just showed you Dad's getting the bumper and the grill polished up. So I'm jumping back over on the scoop cover. I never really finished up shaping it and smoothing it out and all that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing smoothed out around the corners, get a little radius sanded in it for the cowl panel there, and then probably go through and mark and drill holes for how I'm going to mount this thing. So we'll go ahead and get that knocked out. Okay, we got that thing all shaped up, got the edges rounded out, got it pretty even, got a little bit of a contour in it for the cowl piece, and I was wondering why it was sitting kind of weird at the back, and I just realized that this has a lip of fiberglass still laying up on the cowl, and someone cut this side out, so I got a little spacer sitting in there for now to get the hood portion right there where it's been all cut up where this one is. That way I kind of know where it's supposed to be. That way when I go to set this back up there and mark where to do my holes, it's a little bit more even. And now that I got it sitting where I wanted, just laid it back up there, I'm gonna move this tape and actually do a nice square of masking tape around this thing, and then lay it back up there, get it positioned where I want, and scribe a line around it so I know where the outside edge of that piece is going to be. There's our scribed line. So I definitely got plenty of room. That just kind of gives me a better visual of where the thing's gonna sit, how much meat I got, and where I can put the, I'm not sure, I don't think we're gonna rivet it. I think I might use drill some holes and do some nut certs in the fiberglass. Haven't decided yet. Obviously when I get there, I'll film it so you guys can see how I do it, and that way if you're ever looking to do something like this, you can kind of have some different ideas or different ways of doing it. All right, you can see my holes. Did them all 3 inches apart. That way they're even all the way around. And I'm probably going to drill some smaller holes in these. I'm not going to drill them yet because I want to use a smaller bolt. Probably use an Allen head, kind of like the nice radius bubble, like button top. That way it looks a little nicer, and I want to know what size I want to get so I know what threaded nut certs to get and what size holes to drill. So made some good headway there. Probably go pick up some bolts and pick up, might pick up right after this, but the hardware store is probably closed right now, so I'm gonna have to wait till first thing in the morning, then jump back on this then. All right, got some stuff to finish up this scoop hole cover. So I'm just doing the boring job of drilling a bunch of holes. So let's keep drilling and get this thing knocked out. Got her set back up here and aligned back on my little template, and got all my holes marked. So now we are ready to drill and insert the nut certs in the actual hood itself so we can actually bolt this thing down. And I accidentally forgot and only grabbed 10 of the nut certs, and I need like 16, I think. So that was a dumb move on my part. So I'll at least get them all drilled and get the 10 I have put in, and then go pick up some more so we can finish it out. All right, so I did the first one just as a nice test. and should drop right in there and then should press in there just fine. So I'll show you guys how to use this thing and the benefits of it if you've never used it. A lot of guys have, and some guys have never used them. They're pretty convenient. Another thing we're gonna do is I was gonna use this back one to run a little steel brace to, not only will the steel piece help make the hood not flex, but I'd like to put one across to really strengthen it up. I decided we'd probably do it from this one. If not, it'd be hitting your cow here. I didn't think about that. So these here, I'm only gonna be drilling like a 3/16 inch hole and run a through bolt to kind of help keep a piece of steel in place. So probably hit you guys with another time lapse here and get these suckers drilled out and get these nut certs put in. Okay, now that we got our holes drilled, as you can see, don't need the template on there anymore, so we'll go ahead and pop the template off, and we will get to using the nut cert gun and get some of these popped in, so hopefully this goes well. All right, so what you're doing with this is you have a threaded insert right here, and these are interchangeable depending on what thread pitch you run. Probably hard to see. You can see there's little slots right there for this tool to loosen this up, which those are left-hand threads on the inside. And you can take this out and change it to like 1/4-20 or whatever thread pitch you're wanting. I'm running 10/24 because we wanted to keep it smaller and not as noticeable. And let's see, right where I put it. Here's the 10/24s we're using, little Allen button heads, black. That way it keeps it very subtle and not noticeable. But basically, once you get that in there, and you do that, you take the nut cert itself, or riv nuts, whatever you want to call them, thread that almost all the way to the top. You want maybe a little play. Everyone does this a little bit differently, and every tool's a little bit different, because they also got the ones that have like the double clamp. Those are pretty nice, but when you get down into the small thread pitch, I've been known to break these bits, so maybe that's just me. I like the little hand ones like this for the smaller thread pitch stuff, and you can pick these up at Harbor Freight for 25 bucks. It's well worth the money. And then basically, once you got that set up, you just go a little bit at a time. You put some pressure and crimp it, and what that does is fold this like a rivet, and then you change it. You thread it down a little bit, do it again. You can use this right here to do your threading. So let's give this a shot, see how it works out. And we're in. Much better. Okay, accidentally screwed a couple of them up. As you can tell, they compressed, but I didn't get them gripped in the hole. I think just because when I threaded them on, I had this compressed a little bit. But anyway, I had to go buy more of those anyway. So got at least this many of them in. So now I can test fit the centerpiece. So we'll get that tossed on, see how it looks. All right, it's all test fitted and partially bolted down. And most of that will be covered by a hood scoop anyway that we're running. So it's not fully finished yet, but it's close. It should do what it's meant to do. All right, went to the hardware store and got some more of those guys. So they're all in. And I got the cover painted. So I'm about ready to go check on that, see if it's done. And hopefully we can end this video out seeing that thing bolted on there. All right, we got her finished up. It dried up, so it was good enough where I could touch it. It's not fancy by any means because we're gonna have a scoop, obviously, that mounts on there, and I'm gonna be cutting out pretty much this whole center portion, which is why I kind of left it beat up right in there. But overall, you know, it looks pretty good. This is actually black hardware. It's kind of reflecting like it's not, but it turned out pretty good. Pretty happy with it. The spots that you'll be able to see at the bead I made aren't too bad looking. Pretty happy with it. Looks a lot better in a ginormous hole or just, you know, riveted in a piece of galvanized metal on there or something. So I'm pretty happy with it. Now that we got that done, that'll do it for this video. Hopefully the next one, not really too sure what I'm going to tackle next. But we do have a rear end coming for this thing, so we'll tell you about that when we get it. It's perfect for this car. It's exactly what they would have run back then too, so we're pretty stoked on it. We may be getting the engine over soon, so I'm not sure what the next one will be, but hey, remember to subscribe. I notice a lot of viewers, you know, a lot of guys stumble upon these, just watch them, but if you can, subscribe and keep liking and commenting, because it really helps out and helps get the videos out there. And not that I care about anything else, but it's really fun getting, you know, new viewers, and helps the channel just do well in general. So I think that'll do it for that, and hopefully have a video up in the next, you know, within the next week on the next project that we're tackling. So see you guys next time.